Emily from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for December 2023. So on December 6th, we have Neptune, ruler of dreams, creativity, imagination, spirituality, confusion, and even a little bit of delusion, finally going direct after being retrograde for quite a few months, 4.5, 5 months, dating us all the way back to June. So, of course, when Neptune was retrograde, of course, we got the bitch slap from the cosmos, knocking our rose-colored glasses off of our face. We could not run. We could not hide. We had to deal with life, with reality, with the harshness, the ugliness, the truth as it is, not the way that we wished it would be. Of course, while Neptune is retrograde, we weren't really connecting with our higher selves the way that we would like. We were kind of disconnected from our intuition, disconnected from imagination, from creativity, very much lacking inspiration, which means that now that Neptune is going to be going direct, we should be able to connect with all of these things that we've been disconnected from, and we should see a major shift in mood, in attitude, in our spirituality, in our creativity, and in our dreams. Okay, so let's unpack for just a second. We've had a lot going on over the course of Neptune being retrograde. And of course, Neptune goes retrograde because there's a certain point in time in every calendar, normally squished in between eclipse seasons that, of course, rock us to our core, put us on the karmic path that we failed to put ourselves. Neptune needs to go retrograde, needs to force us out of our little bubble, out of the escape mechanisms that many of us use to avoid the harsh truth, the harsh reality of some of the situations and circumstances that we created that we definitely would prefer not to have to deal with. But of course, Neptune is all about soul contracts as well. That's our spiritual force. It is the metaphysical realm. And so for many of us going through this healing journey, going through the evolution of our consciousness, of course, we always need a little bit of a time to really just ground out, to kind of be blocked from going too far ahead in our imagination, in our fantasy, in our creative work, in our spiritual evolution. We need that door to be closed, so to speak, in order for us to deal with life as it is, as ugly, as dark, as harsh as it may be, in order for us to gain a lot of perspective. And of course, gaining that perspective means that we're opening up ourselves up to a new level of awareness. And that level of awareness, of course, boosts our level of consciousness. Now that Neptune is going direct, we are going to be able to put those rose-colored glasses back on. Now, again, this is when we move into delusional land. We want to see life in the way that is happy-go-lucky, is more comfortable for us than the harsh truth, the harsh reality of not seeing life through these rose-colored glasses. So we do get to put that, let's call it lens back on. Everything can be peachy keen. We have a better time kind of avoiding the harsh truth, the harsh realities. Is that a good thing? Well, yes and no. Yes, because we can't be constantly bombarded with all of this pain, all of this trauma, all of this harshness, all of this darkness all the time. We do need a little bit of a break, a little bit of a reprieve. But of course, the no part of that is because we are creating situations and circumstances, delusions, if you will, really kind of painting ourselves, our lives in a better color than it actually appears in, which of course is setting us up for the next harsh truth, the next bitch slap of reality coming at us when Neptune will go retrograde again. So yes, we get to put the rose-colored glasses back on. That's good. We can kind of calm our inner central nervous systems down a little bit by kind of painting our lives in a picture, in a way, in a hue that is more appealing to us. We do get to kind of align, if you will, with our higher selves, with our intuition in a way that we've been lacking over the course of the last few months while Neptune was retrograde. This means that there are new insights coming online, new visions being downloaded to us, new ideas, new inspirations that are going to be triggered and activated in order for us to conjure up a new vision, new dream of what that would actually look like and whether or not we have what it takes to actually go after those particular elements, start manifesting an actual reality that is a vibratory match to the vision, to the dreams that are now kind of percolating within us. So with that, our dream state is shifting, both our waking state, because again, daydreams are a very powerful force, just as much as our night dreams are. Of course, our night dreams are accessing that part of our subconscious self that really needs to kind of wrap up particular topics and themes that our waking selves weren't, I'm going to say, prepared to kind of sort through and process. It's all of those fragmented emotions and ideas that we don't deal with in our waking lives that kind of get packaged in a prettier type of situation delivered to us while we sleep. Our dream content is going to become a lot stronger. We have access to the astral realms now, many of us kicked out for the last couple of months. Not only are we gaining access to those astral realms, but there is new missions, new contracts, new soul contracts, new timelines that are now going to be kind of downloaded in our dream state in order for us to kind of prepare ourselves for seeing some of these aspects to actually come into fruition, come into our reality. So because Neptune is all about imagination and fantasy, we are going to have an unbelievable connection to a new level of creative force energy. You've been hearing me talk about stepping into our creative power for many, many months now. We are now moving into a karmic chapter that requires us to be in our creator energy. And with Neptune now going direct, we are definitely going to see a new level of creativity be downloaded in this new version of self. So this is putting us in a little bit of a creative force energy period of time where we really do have to download from our higher self, from higher source, these visions, these dreams, these ideas, these inspirations, in order for us to really push those boundaries on what it is that we're able to actually achieve and bring into life here in this physical realm. So of course, Neptune kind of ruling over our spirituality, we are going to be tested in a lot of ways to see whether or not what it is that we've learned actually is integrated into the here and now, into this new version of self. We do see an evolution of consciousness, of awareness. We do see an upgrade in our spirituality as well. But this is very much a time to kind of prove that we can walk the walk, talk the talk, based off of some of the tough love life lessons that we've already learned. And again, just testing us to see whether or not we've anchored that into this new version of self and whether or not we can actually implement some of those spiritual life lessons into the here and now. This is going to be a time when we are, again, starting to see the light out of the dark tunnel that we've been in, especially in our spiritual evolution. Many people fell off of their spiritual healing, spiritual journey bandwagon. Well, Neptune was retrograde. This is a time where we do feel a little bit more pull, if you will, to get back on that particular wagon because we have work to do in that spiritual realm. This is a time when we're going to see a heightened sense of faith in our lives because, of course, our faith, our hopes, our wishes, our dreams are now being restored. We are connecting, if you will, to a higher vibration, a higher frequency, which is bringing us back online. And of course, we have to talk about the ever-changing, ever-evolving belief system that we are essentially renovating at this particular point in time. I think it's an important point to also mention, we have Neptune who rules over this Pisces energy at the very ending degrees of this Pisces chapter in the zodiac wheel. At the beginning of these Pisces degrees, we have Saturn, the Lord of Karma, ruling over roles, responsibilities, systems, structures, willpower, discipline, who just came out of his retrograde, now direct, very slow kind of movement moving forward. But the reason why I bring this up is because we've been tested in our beliefs. Again, this is the reason why many people fell off the spiritual bandwagon, so to speak, because their beliefs got crushed. Their beliefs got collapsed in some way by the harsh truth, the bitch slap of reality that Neptune gave us when Neptune first went in a retrograde. So here we are, we're coming out of this very raw, real, vulnerable state where we really had our belief system tested. We had our spiritual awareness, knowledge, wisdom tested. We had our activations tested in a big way. And this is definitely going to determine, as we approach the solstice, what version of self, that energy signature, that vibration and frequency that we're currently experimenting with, where it is that we will be anchoring that in, locking that in, and working with that in this next chapter. So this is going to be a time when we're going to start to see the light, when we're going to start feeling a little bit more magical, a little bit more empowered, spiritually speaking, where we're going to start really seeing new ideas, new glimmers of hope, real good inspiration sources that will kind of trigger and activate something within us. So although it is going to take a little bit of a minute to get kind of acclimated to this forward direction, and of course, while we're kind of switching gears, so to speak, this can create a lot of confusion. It can actually disconnect us and detach us with a more intense type of energy than we have been feeling for this last 4.5, 5 months. Reason being, we're shifting gears. We're coming out of our inner realm. We're now focusing this energy in our external realm. And there can be a little bit of an intense point where all of the life lessons, all of the things that we should have been illuminated to while Neptune was retrograde, there's a little bit of a blat right in our face, a little bit of a aha moment. Remember this. Here it is. It comes at us very intensely. We feel that pressure, and then that pressure be alleviated as we kind of shift gears, acclimate our particular mindset, our emotions, our thoughts, our ideas to something lighter, something brighter, something a little bit more mystical, let's say. So although, again, we are going to need a couple of days to kind of get a little bit more in alignment with this forward motion, this forward direction, we may have a little bit of difficulty in seeing the forest past the trees, so to speak. Give yourself a little bit of grace, give yourself a little bit of a pep talk, if you will, on where it is that you have to have a little bit more patience. We're definitely going to see this really unfold very organically, very naturally. It's going to just be at the snap of the fingers, and all of a sudden you have an idea that you haven't had before, or you gain a little bit of a vision, or you daydream, and all of a sudden you're downloaded with a path, with a plan, with a little bit of a strategy on really applying what it is that you've been confused about to your particular life to get you to where it is that your higher self desires you to be.